Welcome to Geekbeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news from geeks like you. I am your host, Summer Punch, and with me, we've got Chuck.
Gang, gang.
And Syntell.
Yo, hold on, I can't get that. Gang. Yo, like you, like for real, B.
No cap.
No, okay, all right. So you guys in the chat, Chuck just watched an SNL skit about Gen Z slang, and he's just now that's his whole language. Like he's not speaking to us in regular terms anymore. Everything is no cap. On God. All right, just get ready for that, guys. How was your weekend? Before we get into the news, I want to know how your weekend was.
My weekend was yeet. Oh
my God. All right, guys, buckle in. It's happening. Syntell, what about you?
Yo, I bought in and drank the Kool-Aid, man. We got a Peloton in the house, so I've been riding my bike all weekend long. I'm over here trying to get swole for the summer.
No cap.
As you should.
It's the Peloton for me.
As you should. Yes. Say no more, fam. Say no more.
That's great. Congratulations. I know Peloton is they get a little bit of shit for being bougie, but I think it's great. You know, like if they can make working out fun, then why not? Especially if you can do it at home.
It's definitely some bougie shit. It's bougie. But I'm a bougie dude.
They're really nice. They're really nice.
You in that subscription service forever, son.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, I think it's like $50 a month or something. It's not cheap, right?
No, it's not a
They charge you for the bike and they charge you for the subscription. You don't win in that.
No. But and they sell your data. And they sell your data.
And they cheaper. Data.
And it's cheaper. It's cheaper than pills and hospital visits. So, gang.
You're not right. You're not wrong there. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations on your Peloton. Yeet to you too, Chuck. My weekend was good. I watched Yasuke. I mean, I know you guys covered it last week, but I was just like floored. I loved it. So
you stand it?
I stand Yasuke. Yasuke. It's the Yasuke for me.
It's the Yasuke.
Did I do it right? No.
Yeah, you did it. You did it right.
Did I? Good. Okay. It's the animation for me. It was the fantasy for me.
Support.
I get it.
No cap. It was the best I've seen in a while. Got W, huh? On God.
I'm sitting here on my right.
I'm gonna have you spill the tea later about it. What you think?
I loved it. I thought it was really good. Apparently, it got a mediocre rating from you guys. Whatever. My man Yasuke is the king. I loved him.
Yo, Lakeith, boy, get some voice acting classes, homie. That's all I'm saying. That's all.
You know, it was the first show that actually got me to watch. Like, I watched the full season in one day, and I haven't done that in I think over a year. Like, it's been
would you say
watching TV is so high now, and it was. What would I say? What
would you say that it's binge worthy?
I would. Okay, if I was on the show, I would have said definitely. Nice. I liked it.
On God,
it was so much.
It was the fantasy for you.
It's the fantasy for me. And like the astral plane and the trippy psychedelic shit, it's the psychedelics for me, you know. Anyways, in chat, let us know how you guys were doing. Miss My Good Sense, you took it easy. We like to hear that. We like to hear nice, relaxing weekends. In the meantime, let's get straight into the news for today. So I don't know if you guys heard anything about this, but Elon Musk made his debut on SNL last weekend, and a lot of news came out of it. First thing he does, just right out the gates, in his opening monologue, is reveal that he has Asperger's syndrome, an autism spectrum disorder that affects language and communication skills.
Yep.
How have you heard about this? What did you think of this revelation? Was it a surprise? I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, he doesn't strike me as, it doesn't surprise me that he has Asperger's. He's a very, different kind of cat. I mean, you've seen some of his interviews. He's just different.
I think he's admitted he has Asperger's before. And I think this is the first time. And I think SNL, he said on SNL and opening monologue, I watched it, and he was like, the first time SNL has ever had somebody with Asperger's actually in an open monologue.
That's actually not true, because Dan Aykroyd has Asperger's, and he has done
Does he?
Really? Okay.
I did not know
nice.
that.
We got a fact check by Syntell.
Man,
hold on.
So
Elon
Over here
Musk
stealing the funk's business. Hold on, man. Don't be mad at me, funk.
On God.
This man needs a job. Don't be taking his work.
Yeah, people are really upset about it. Why do you think people are so upset about it?
About him revealing that he has Asperger's. Yeah. I think that his goal was obviously to make himself more likable. He has come out with, I mean, you kind of love or hate Elon Musk. And I feel like lately the internet has decided to hate him. He said some iffy things about the transgender community. And he also really downplayed the risks of COVID-19, which is just like, it's just not the fucking time for that right now, man. Right. Yep. So he has kind of lost favor. Yeah, he's lost favor with the internet, it seems. And despite all of the things that he's trying to do through business, like, you know, bringing our world to a more, I guess, like reducing pollution and making all cars electric and taking people to space. These are cool aspirational goals, but that's been overshadowed by his odd and bad behavior lately. So it's obvious that he's just trying to make himself more likable. And it seems like everybody got something out of it, except for maybe the audience, depending on what you thought. He definitely comes across as more likable and revealing something so personal that he has Asperger's, and even something that can explain his odd behavior at times, because it does affect people's communication. That's definitely like, I don't know, that seems like in line with that tactic to make himself more likable. And then also, SNL got something out of it because they had crazy ratings that weekend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He even joked about being an android, which was hilarious.
Which I laughed at that one. I was like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
He's like the Howard Hughes of our generation, right? Like Howard Hughes had severe OCD, right? Yeah. And who's to say that if he was re-diagnosed that he could be, you know, somebody that was on the spectrum as well? Because remember, he got diagnosed when this is like in the 50s when he got diagnosed, right? So who knows? But you know, an eccentric billionaire. I mean, Bruce Wayne's an eccentric billionaire. Stark's an eccentric billionaire.
Oh God, I bet he would love
Elon
to be
Musk is
compared
an
to Batman
eccentric
right now.
billionaire. But here's the thing, and I, you know, I got to be devil's advocate with it. So, like, a lot of people dig into their personal lives and dig out these nuggets and put it out for the world to see as a way of being like, listen, maybe you may not be able to relate to me because you don't know the full story. And we applaud those people when they do that. Because it does take courage to do that. It takes courage to step out and you know,
for sure,
pull your heart back and let people see it. But it's just interesting to me, because I can understand why Elon Musk isn't a likable person. I can certainly get that. But he took a gamble and was like, well, let me disclose something that's very personal on one of the world's largest stages on Saturday night. And he's getting filleted for it. So it's just the same people that will be mad for now recognizing somebody else taking those types of stands and taking that kind of step are the same people that are, you know, holding up pitchforks and torches. So I'm just saying, all I'm saying is that I notice it. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying that I notice it.
So expand on that. Why, can you explain to us, why is it that people, or what are people saying about just the criticism of him on the show?
Well, some of the things that I've seen from my own personal timeline, which is probably different from everybody else's, is that he's using this disability as a way to gain favor, which that could very well be true. I'm not saying that that's not true. That could very well be the case. He's using that as a way to not villainize himself in case Dogecoin falls beyond measure and people lose life savings, because people are putting like life investments into this cryptocurrency. And then there's something else happened as a result of him being on there to that cryptocurrency. And we'll talk about that later.
Right. That's another newsy bit, is that Dogecoin tanked after his appearance because he made a few jokes about it, I think. Yeah. Unless there was more to it. But he just said how much of a joke it was, which is not wrong, really.
It could be a tactical move, but I wouldn't put it past him that it's a tactical move. Let me try and figure out a way to soften up the masses so that they can take the good or bad of what's going to happen. But there's also the very real possibility that maybe he is trying and struggling very hard to try to get in touch with the rest of humanity. And this was his Hail Mary throw. So that's just my observation. Whether any of that is true or false, I couldn't begin to tell you. But it is interesting to watch the narration regarding him saying something that's so personal.
Yeah.
I'm just really curious about, when he's going to release another coin, when he's going to release his own coin. That's what I'm looking forward to.
You think he's
Isn't there
gonna
like a
do it?
Doge
God,
Plus
I really
coin?
The
hope he
Tesla
doesn't.
coin?
Tentatively.
Who said he wouldn't? I mean,
Well, what Summer brought up is very, very interesting, and that's the fact that Doge tanked like it was like seconds after he gave his monologue. It was like it hit rock bottom.
Yeah, because everybody realized, oh my God, I'm gonna listen to somebody that has Asperger's and openly admitted it. And I think people probably pulled out a lot of Wall Street's in on Dogecoin. Let it be known, these big time investors that said crypto is gonna fail are all in on it right now. It's kind of like Jamie Dimon was like, oh, there's no space for crypto, but then JP Morgan bought a shit ton of crypto. So I think this is like the greenback era. Like, oh, let me buy the IOUs from everybody.
Words Dogecoin can like have insane volatility on its prices, which I think is just like, it just reveals the weakness of that system, right? That there's nothing to kind of buffer it from just famous people fucking around on the internet and just saying things to like, make the prices go even more volatile. But then again, like I'm a little bit hesitant to say that out loud because that just opens the door. Usually the immediate solution to that is regulation. And I don't know if I want to see that happening either. So it's like, we're just stuck with Elon Musk, like fucking with Dogecoin prices. It's just like saying whatever he wants to on a whim. And then us having to deal with the consequences in this weird system that we all live in.
Was it funny to you? Did you watch the show? I didn't watch the show, so
I watched a few of the skits. I think that SNL, they have great writers, right? So they can. He's not funny. SNL is funny, right? Like his delivery is horribly awkward, but he does says the words out loud, and sometimes that's enough for it to be funny because he had some zingers when it came to like talking about like us being in a simulation. That was hilarious because it was very self-referential, very self-aware. And I was thinking, oh, that's a very self-aware joke. But then I immediately reminded myself, he's not writing this. They're writing this for him. So good job for making fun of Elon Musk SNL. I don't know. He was pretty funny in some things, but yeah, he's not a comedian by nature. And he probably practiced a lot to just even be barely as not good as he was, So. But he was probably I can't blame him too much for that. He's not a comedian, so I'd probably tank if I was there.
I like the fact he addressed when he smoked marijuana on Joe Rogan's podcast. And the fact, I'm pretty sure the Justice Department and the Defense Department went bananas on Saturday. Because you're supposed to be completely drug-free from anything that's scheduled on the federal list, and marijuana is still scheduled on the federal list.
Yeah, it is still a federal crime.
It's still a federal crime.
Yes, it is still a federal crime.
He talked about doing it, and I'm pretty sure the Defense Department was like, we gave you license to throw missiles into the air.
But he's a billionaire, so the rules don't apply to him.
He's proven it. He's proving it. That's what makes it so awesome that he is.
We have Lisa Simpson in the chat asking, "Do we get into the Michael Che thing?" Now I know you guys brought this up before we went live. Chuck, why don't you cue this one?
Yeah, it's so the Gen Z hospital skit where he's using all the slang from the Gen Z, and everybody was mad at him about actually using the slang, like on God, gang, gang. And he calls it the African American vernacular or something.
That's what I was like when you played it before. I was like, this isn't just Gen Z. This is just like AAVE. Which is classic culture, always absorbing from African American culture.
But this is what all the kids use. They all use it. I mean, once it hits the internet, it belongs to everybody, right? It originated out of the African American community, like all slang has. But when I was watching that skit, I was thinking to myself, our parents thought we were crazy. We used to use steez and dog, and we used to use all kind of bad slang, horrible slang. Like, she's a skeezer. Like, what the hell is a skeezer?
Michael, so you're saying the controversy is criticism, though, right? Oh,
what's up?
Please.
No, I think you're about to say same thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, Michael Shea's kind of like used to this controversy, though, right? Like,
yeah,
he's kind of like laid on the SNL cross a couple of times, and I think he's at that point now where he's like, whatever.
And the slang in the skit, there's only one black person in the whole entire skit too. So all the white kids and the Asian kids are all using the slang terms too. But I think that's the point of the skit. That was the point. The point was to show that how African American vernacular goes across everything, and everybody uses it as just typical slang.
I feel like that's an advanced level interpretation. You're not wrong, but I don't think that most people extracted that level.
They don't have the mentality. They don't have the mental capacity to understand.
They don't have the awareness to even know that that's like a double layered joke.
Like all the Fortnite dances.
Speaking of Fortnite, Epic and Apple are fighting over a naked banana in court this week. As the trial for Epic and Apple entered into its second week, both parties took a turn from antitrust law to argue whether bananas should wear clothes in court. So it was like kind of meandering for a while. The banana in question is Peely, like peel a banana, a humanoid fruit avatar from Epic Games Fortnite, which is in a huge lawsuit with Apple right now. And Peely's nightmarish existence is really related to Apple's case at all. Naked banana comment would probably have been passed or a throwaway joke, but for one very important fact, Apple slammed Epic last week by claiming that it hosted porn. This is going all over the place. Anyways, I'm gonna cut to the chase because this case is complicated enough as it is to follow, but it is super important and super interesting. It has a ton of rippling effects depending on how it's ruled out. But to wrap it all together, the Peely exchange epitomized just how rambling and off topic some of today's testimonies felt. Apple's tutorial was clearly aimed at showing that Fortnite is mostly a game and not an experience or a metaverse, as Epic is trying to argue, encouraging the judge to weigh the App Store's game-related policies against similar rules on consoles rather than scrutinizing the whole iOS ecosystem. Still, the result felt like a college freshman padding an English essay with a blow-by-blow plot summary, and in this case, a blow-by-blow description of how to complete a skydiving challenge with a banana humanoid avatar. There's a lot there.
I love describing this story because the case is about antitrust. And since Apple is not a special platform, a special use device anymore, it's a general use device, they're saying we're allowed to have our own app stores on your platform. And they just went completely left field with this. They're like, it's like they're trying to get the judge to scrutinize the character of Epic, if Epic was a human being. It's kind of like how they assassinate the character of black folks when they're on trial when they're dead. You know, he drank, he yelled at his girlfriend before. They're using every tactic under the book to discredit Epic.
And Digital Click in the chat just said Apple's wrong because it is. He said they said that there are concerts, movies, movie theaters. They're doing all kinds of random things to show you what an experience like that can be, how you can feel an experience like that in their world. So it is an experience. It is a metaverse. I mean, it's not just doing weird dances and shooting people. You can kind of do other things with it. So I feel you, Digital Click. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And so Apple's like, we got to discredit Epic. They got porn in their store, and their games. And they're games that you have to be 18 years and older to purchase. And it's like, what? Apple, you host movies with more sex scenes than in some of these games.
That is a very good point. Yeah. So it sounds like Apple is kind of coming at it with everything, just trying to throw the kitchen sink at Epic in return. And it sounds like it's not really holding up that well. I mean, we don't know how it's holding up in court itself because we'll hear that decision from the judges later. But at least in the court of public opinion, Apple is still not looking like the good guy here.
Yep. Yeah. The $1 trillion gorilla is asking another $1 billion gorilla to side with me. Microsoft, PlayStation, get on our side because they come for me, they're coming for you too. So we have to gang up on this little gorilla by
Let's find out.
This is going to be super interesting to see this legal battle play out because a lot of leadership in game publishing companies have been complaining about Apple for a long time, but none of them have been willing to take the risk of confronting Apple and actually taking them to court. Because think about it, the game that Epic is playing right now, they have one of the biggest games out there, a game that I think went down from 2018 to 2019, right? So they dipped in revenues. I think it went back up because of the pandemic and everybody was playing again. But you know, it's at the top of the industry, but it's not like super steady giant quite yet. And they still want to make a lot of money, of course, as does any company that's in that space. So in order to in order to confront Apple in court like this, they're going to have to risk taking down their entire game from a major platform that provides that game and a major source of revenue. Most games are not going to want to do that, right? Most games don't have the financial security to even consider such a gamble, or just to accept that their game is going to come down, because that's what happened earlier. I think it was last year or the year before. Apple was not on board with what Epic was trying to do, and they banned Fortnite and took it off the App Store for a while. And then I think there was like a Fortnite blackout. There was calls on Twitter to bring Fortnite back. And, you know, Epic almost certainly lost a lot of money by doing that. So it is definitely a risk. And it seems like Epic's CEO, I think Tim Sweeney, he seems to be one of the only executive leaders out there that is willing to take the risk, but also have the funds to have enough of an impact where, you know, if he swings, it's actually going to hit and land and actually have an impact on Apple. So this is just an interesting case all around. It has a lot of implications, not only for gaming, but for general like antitrust law, which is something that oddly enough has bipartisan support. One of the few things in the world right now, or at least in America, actually has bipartisan support, and Apple is just generally not coming out looking very good right now. So we'll continue to follow this story and give you our thoughts along the way, because this is a dense one. There's a lot here.
There's a lot here. We got a couple more weeks for the case, so I wonder what they're going to talk about tomorrow.
For sure, we'll be covering here.
One of my friends told me, I guess he got it from a movie, whatever. He said something that used to stick with me. He said, "God hates a coward." So, you know, if you want something to move,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
put your balls on the table. What are you gonna do? I mean, there's no great reward without risk. So,
yeah,
I tip my hat to him. I wish him the best of luck.
And he's definitely positioning himself as like the guy who's standing up for the little guy, even though it's a little bit laughable because he is like a CEO making like billions and billions of dollars in revenue for the game that is absolutely crushing it on the market. So to think that he's like the little guy standing up against big bad Apple, like, okay, these are two giants going at each other. But yeah, we'll see how this one plays out. So onto some. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, so on to some other news. Twitter's tip jar allows users to express their gratitude. However, there's one unfortunate wrinkle. Sending someone's money via PayPal could reveal your home address. So first of all, what is Twitter's tip jar? Chuck, I know you know about this feature. This is actually news to me, so sounds interesting.
Tip jar is a way that you can actually tip somebody for their tweet. So they're opening up this feature to a couple of users, or a lot of users. And so if you like somebody's tweet, you can tip them for it. I'm like, I like that. I'm going to tip you for it. And apparently, if you use PayPal, when people trace back to PayPal, if I'm correct, they actually allow you to see their address. And there's good and bad in this, actually. I just now thought about that. The good thing is this. For white supremacists that tip other white supremacists, we get their address, and God knows we need that. Because what we're gonna have a lot of people do, and particularly the black community, they're gonna tip a bunch of rappers for saying some stupid shit. Snoop Dogg's gonna say something on Thriller about the Mayweather and Logan Paul. People are gonna tip Snoop Dogg for that.
I'm a fan of the tipping personally, because you know, if you got some witty content that's savable, or something that Black Twitter has anointed, then you deserve to get paid for it. I'm
you should
with
get paid for it.
From my understanding, though, is that I think what made the big news is that Twitter missed an easy fix, and all they had to do was tell you that there's different types of ways that you can pay somebody, and explain it to people that if you do a business transaction, then it's going to be they're going to show your address. But if you're just tipping, like you're just, I don't know, giving money to like your little brother or whatever it is, then it's not. And people just weren't privy to it. And Twitter's just not the company to make that type of mistake. So it's like, man, you in the big leagues, you could have endangered somebody's life, you know?
For example, Summer, I'm gonna put this out there to you. You appreciate this. You know, Ted Cruz makes a horrible tweet. A billionaire from Texas tips him $100. We could go to that billionaire's house and whoop his ass.
Okay, so does this mean there's like a public ledger of everybody he gets tipped from? Because that really makes it interesting. I want to know who's paying who for what.
Yeah,
well, I don't think it's a public ledger. I think it's just the person that receives the funds gets access to your address.
Okay. Oh,
we should only allow tipping in Bitcoin so that we can see the no, but then it's anonymous.
Then it's anonymous anyway.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I want an anti-tip feature so that if Ted Cruz gets tipped or just anything he says is stupid, I want to just take money from him.
We find
that's another $20
jar.
Give me that. Snatch it from him. Fuck that guy. What an asshole. He needs to go on an anti-tip campaign. Yeah, okay. I feel like we kind of buried the lead there. The most interesting part of this here is the tip function. My first thought goes to like, God, I really don't want Donald Trump to be getting any more money from Americans that he's fooling to follow him. But I love how you just took the similar thought and you're like, white supremacists. come out there. You didn't even try to ease into it. I love that, Chuck.
Yeah, because that's
go straight for the jugular.
That is what's going to happen, because if you notice, like especially with like police shootings and stuff, like anytime the cop gets in trouble, the very first thing that pops up before the ink even gets dry is some GoFundMe with them that's going to cover their legal expenses and stuff, and they end up getting like just insane amounts of money for doing horrible things. And then when you attach that to something like Twitter, where it's really quick and you get like and it's within the app, it just makes funding people that are just absolute complete bastards that much easier.
I guess it does, but I think, there's definitely like a good and a bad side to this, because you see a lot of these functions popping up on a lot of different sites, or even just whole sites that are supporting this idea of supporting individual content creators or artists of any, like Patreon is a great example, or GoFundMe even. That's like an old entry to a relatively new market space of just like mass supported ways that you can fund individual content creators, artists, contributors, whatever, people who don't have an entire bankroll or publishing house behind them, so that people on the internet that are just like regular people like you and me that can actually get compensated for the great content that they provide to all of us on the internet. So I kind of like that aspect of it, that we're kind of democratizing and making it easier to support people that are just random people out there. But obviously it's going to go to some people that we also don't really want to see supported. But then I guess that's the open marketplace of ideas. And we have the right to do that. And we have the right to oppose it too. So.
Yep. That's fair. I just want people to know, like, you can't just do things so anonymously. It gets dangerous at that point.
I agree with that. There's definitely an argument for that, man.
I'd
love to have that talk with you about that. Because there needs to be some responsibility when you're giving resources that can be detrimental to other people.
Yeah, that is a good point too, because like political contributions, you have to record where they come from for fairness. So I wonder, how does this apply to politicians? Like if they're getting tipped, who are they getting tipped by? Is it like, big pharma?
Box opening
just
up.
throwing $1,000 in Ted Cruz's.
Like they give him $1,000 every hour, for example.
That is an interesting question. I'm very curious to see what Twitter has to say about that.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, that concludes the news segment of our show for today. Thank you guys for tuning. I know, it just flew by.
You did.
That's what I already done. Shout out to Digital Click for all the creative that you guys have provided us along the way. And we see you out in the chat. We appreciate you. If you guys need any creative help out there, hit up Digital Click. They're the best. Please follow us here on Twitch if you haven't done so already. And if you love what we are doing, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to your Prime Gaming account and subscribe to us for free using Prime Gaming. It costs you nothing, but it helps us out a ton. And we love to see that stuff. And we appreciate all the support that comes our way. Up next, we have Pan Geekery. Can we bring in Auntie Caitlin, Jen, and Earl?
Bring them in.
Squad.
No, on gang. That geek gang. Bruh. No cap. Bring them in.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey guys.
Hello. How are y'all doing?
Chilling.
We are chilling.
Hey.
Like villains.
Iconic.
You guys sound so calm and easy. All right. Like
no, we're just sleepy.
We're just tired.
We're just sleepy. Yeah.
This is the pain geekery for me.
Yeah.
It's all about the pain geekery.
Pain geekery. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh. All right. Well, what are you guys talking about today? You want to cue us up on your contents?
Yeah,
we're trying to catch up. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Dota, Nevers,
Invincible.
So those three
all
things
of
on the
the
docket.
Bangers.
Man, yeah, look at that.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Guys, I have a
y'all
question
like Dota
for
or
you.
Invincibles?
Oh.
Go ahead. No, sorry. Go ahead, Summer. Summer, ask your question.
No, that's a meaningful question. I was just gonna throw out muck out there. I was just gonna bullshit with you guys for just anything that comes to mind. I'm just gonna try to get you guys to talk. That's my goal. Right, my question was gonna be like, do you understand what the fuck Chuck is talking about when he's like on God? Like it's something for what else did you say? Like
nah, bro.
On God, yeah.
God man answer.
On God.
What you talking about?
Like on guard.
On God.
On God.
On God.
God.
Means
G-A.
be
It's
on
like
your
believe
guard.
that.
On God.
It's like
No
believe
cap.
that or like
No cap.
Like it's on God now.
That?
Like that's
Believe
God's
that.
assignment.
Do you know what that means?
You know?
Chuck, say something else. Just anything.
I'm from a different
Just say words today, because he's not speaking English. He's speaking Gen
I'm
Z.
speaking English. High key.
Is that a flex?
High key. High key.
Hi.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's on
My
fleek.
language is dummy thick.
dummy.
No, with two C's.
I haven't
With two
heard
C's.
that.
Two
I watch a lot of
C's.
TikTok. I haven't heard
Oh
that.
my
Dummy
Facts.
thick. That sounds. What does that
Don't get
mean?
mad at me. I'm in the middle of my glow up. On God.
You're just
Oh my
saying
God. On
words.
God. Now
That.
you're just saying things.
Lala.
His
I
been doing this all
understood
night.
everything Chuck just said.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that clip on Airplane. That clip on Airplane with the two brothers.
Oh yeah,
You know?
talking. And
excuse me, sir.
It's-
I speak
She's
jive.
like,
I speak jive.
Oh.
I speak Z.
I speak Z.
Chuck watched an SNL clip of Gen Z language using
my
just all of their new
God.
buzzwords,
It is
and now he
amazing.
thinks he's a youth.
It's-
He thinks he's a youth. He's 14 years old in school, trying to remind him that nobody knows what the fuck he's
Does
talking
this-
about.
This is how you
This
know
slaps,
you're an adult.
right? This
This
slaps,
slaps.
right?
Slap. This is fire, y'all.
I
We
stand
getting
that.
litty.
Litty,
I
yeah.
Do you guys
stand.
know? Do you guys know that Gen Z has banned like the laughing, crying emoji?
It's the dead
Why?
emoji
That's
now.
not cool anymore.
Yeah,
You can't
Why?
use that.
You use the
It's
skull.
lame.
That's
It's
fucking
you have to use
stupid. I'm sorry.
dead ass. Like you have to use
Dead.
dead.
On
Dead
God.
for laughing because like I'm dead.
So
But dead ass.
But I presume that's
without
dead.
any
It's spelled
emphasis.
D-E-D. Then, right?
Dead.
Yeah, in all caps. In all
Ooh,
caps.
It's just-
I don't know.
Dead.
Y'all are ruining my
Oh,
internet
God.
cred right now.
Oh, I know. We think
Doesn't
we're
work.
doing
The
right.
clip
We're on
is
Twitch
in the
right
chat.
now, but we
Oh,
have a
God.
long way to go still. We're probably the oldest girl on Twitch too, but that's okay.
What
we're,
does
we're
that
trying.
mean? What does
watch
on God
TikToks.
mean?
On
Yo,
God, you know,
FYG Gaming, thank you for the
on
5
God.
Hey.
subs.
I'll put
Yeah,
that
thank
on
you, Evan.
God.
Thank you, Ron.
You know?
That's my friend. That's my
Bountiful
friend.
gifts aplenty.
You know,
That is not how GNC talks. That is actually a while ago. Thank you,
It's old
sir.
man mumbo jumbo.
Cap.
She's dying. It's actually.
I can speak
quite
that.
late.
I know how to speak that.
I don't know what y'all's rule is about like adopting new like slang, but I think if it just comes out when you're talking, I just keep on saying it. Like I don't think about it. I don't say like, yo, I'm adopt that. You know, but if it comes out in like my normal language, then I'm like, all right, I guess I'm saying that now.
The worst part for me is working in a corporation where I have to be like, put my voice is already kind of a white girl voice anyways, but I have to like, hide
have to code
the
switch.
personality a little bit more. Yes,
Right,
code
right.
switching. Exactly. I don't have to code switch that hard, but I do have to somewhat. And every once in a while, like a slang will drop out and it's like, oh, am I being awkward? Am I weird? Like once I said hella like a few months ago and it's like, that's so old. Like, and
Wait, where were we, like during work? Like in a work setting?
And I was like, something is like hella something. And I was like, oh God. Like,
That's fine.
Oh wait, I thought hella is
in the social setting, but also that was really late.
Actually, hella is an old word.
Well, I thought hella is originalism.
Decade old.
No,
it's
I
like
thought
old.
it's originalism, right? It's like it's a NorCal thing.
It's a NorCal thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like Bay Area, strictly
It's that
Bay Area.
whole
And I'm in
idea,
LA.
like,
Hella
I'm
and
from-
hecka.
there was
I like
no
hecka
place.
better because it's like more random.
Hecka.
Hecka.
Because
so
it's
worse.
trying
Like,
too
this
hard.
is
Is what it is.
Yeah.
Just
All that is
There's
Hecka.
another term the kids use. It's
cringe.
cringy. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay.
Summer, you're
That's
doing a
another
great
one to
job
check with.
hosting over here, Summer. You know, Richard
Okay.
Maddow be quacking
You know,
over
no,
here.
yeah,
Richard
I mean,
Maddow.
code switching is a skill, so it's cool that you can like navigate.
I know you guys all
You get
relate.
your
I know you all have to do
survival
that.
technique.
Yeah.
It's the code switching for
On
me.
God.
Going anywhere else.
God.
There's definitely
So
code switching that
cringe.
happens.
On God, I'm gonna start saying.
On
I will
God.
start
God.
saying that.
On God.
Hella?
The,
Actually,
I
deadass.
said-
Okay, so Gen
Deadass.
Z,
Easier
when they
to
say deadass, they also mean like, I legit or I honestly or I seriously like I
Yeah.
deadass said that.
Oh, the
I
deadass
deadass
is a
believe that
nice
shit.
In which
Deadass,
to
like,
add emphasis.
Amplifier, yeah.
I used to use
It adds
dead ass too when
emphasis.
I was
I
younger.
deadass,
Dead ass.
yeah.
Like, dead ass.
Mhm.
Like over deadass just said that.
I feel like you can't say dead ass unless you got
Deadass.
some Tim's on.
Ass. If you say it too slow, it sounds like that ass.
I mean,
Yes, it
we
does.
all
We say
know
that ass too. We say
And that's
dead
old.
ass.
That's from like
Deadass
the
and
90s or
deadass.
Say
something.
dead ass too.
And then you immediately
Deadass.
reveal yourself as an anti-youth, and that's
This is
then they'll
getting,
figure it out, and
this
then they'll
is
eat
getting
you.
disturbing. I don't
That's
like.
how you get
I don't like
canceled.
thinking
On
that.
God.
Yeah,
So God.
We're not the
So-
youths. We are not
I don't
the youths
like
anymore.
that.
we're.
Believe that.
I've had to accept it. I'm
We're
getting old
not.
I don't
now.
like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it at all.
Whatever.
We are. That's how you know you're
yeah.
becoming an adult is when you switch.
What?
And the
Yep.
switch is when you're no longer speaking like a child
Mhm.
or a youth, and you're like, why do you talk
We
like
should
that?
be so
Like, why do
lucky
you do
though. We
something?
should be
Yes,
so
we-
lucky.
Yeah, no, you're right. I used to think they were changing, but then I look at my Facebook posts from like 13 years ago and I was like, oh my God, why do I
Yeah,
sound like
see
a
the switch.
baby? Yeah.
This is how you know the switch really happened. When you go to the birthday party and you're the people sitting down around the grill or the tables, and you're not the
Grill
ones
guy
running in the
sitting
yard. How do all those people just sit
Hey, yo,
around?
you stand by the
That's
grill because
dumb.
that's where the food
Why?
comes.
Why wouldn't you sit near the food? That's what. That's the.
Yeah, you
Because
want
we know
first
we're
that
kids,
is
it's
It's like
yard,
at,
like,
at,
all they
a, at
do
a
is
wedding
sit
reception,
around
you
all
stand
day
by
long.
the hors d'oeuvre kitchen because that's when they're going to be walking around
Absolutely.
with the
Oh,
I
trays.
That's what's up.
follow the hors d'oeuvre people.
Yeah.
Yo,
Laser.
Yeah.
Man, I hear you, Queen. I hear you, Queen.
Yo,
Dead
I
ass, you
follow
on it.
the last dead ass, you know.
Deadass stood with the
lying.
aunties the whole evening at my last family gathering
Yeah.
with the aunties,
So
and that
you're an
means the
auntie?
olds.
Mm.
Dead ass,
Auntie?
yeah.
Dead
yeah,
ass
yeah.
auntie.
Yeah.
Dead
And
ass
that's on
stood with
period.
the-
Love
you
and
can be
period.
a cool aunt.
Period. Period.
Let me tell you how old I am.
Period.
This is how old I am.
No,
It's
something
9
key.
o'clock my time, which means it's close to my bedtime.
Syntell's
So
like, I gotta get out
Gotta
of
get
here.
up out of
Oh,
here.
God.
No,
That's
no,
when
no.
How old?
we're old.
No,
I am.
no.
Hey,
Like I didn't get a full 8 hours of sleep. I'm
Inferno.
feeling achy.
I ain't get my nap
Inferno,
today.
give us another sub, you guys.
Yeah, thank you for the
Infernal,
for the sub, man.
14 months.
It's
Look
the
at that,
sub.
14 months.
For 14
We don't have loyalty badges? Jesus.
We need to make some
Yeah, we
loyalty
should
badges.
fix that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Low key, we're gonna make some loyalty badges.
High key, we
Oh
should
my
fix
High
that.
key,
High
high key.
key.
High key
Yeah.
make those
God, you just
badges.
outed yourself as an
Wait.
old
I
Chuck.
am.
What is
Say
high
less.
key? What is high
Say
key?
less.
You mean
Okay.
like,
next to
not
me
even
and
trying to
the old
hide
you
it.
get bucks.
Yeah,
High
low
key.
key is like
It's
So
in
it's
which
like
you
on the
add
down low.
emphasis.
It's like Loki
Yeah.
and Thor. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High key.
I like that.
key
See?
is
I
an
like that. I like that,
unabashed
girl.
attachment to whatever
You know what I'm
statement you're saying.
Subscribe to the channel. They'll make you a simp.
Oh my god.
Simp, that's another one. Okay.
Yo, we can't even say that on Twitch anymore.
We
You can't?
say
Oh
it,
yeah. Because
can't?
apparently
What?
it's not.
What?
Yeah.
It's not on it. It's like saying you're whipped. I think it's like saying you're whipped, right?
What
It
is
is.
This is like a
It
stupid, toxic thing
Simping
to
is
say.
a term from the 90s. People don't
Yeah.
say that.
That word,
yeah, it's
really?
No, we keep
Women's
saying
band?
we keep saying the band word, but
Yeah, you can say
Why?
it. Because too many.
Because teenagers
weird
did
people
stupid shit with it, you
use
know?
Yeah.
Really?
Shrimp.
Like it's
Say shrimp.
it's like derogatory
Our
now.
producer told us
Yeah.
to
Say
say shrimp.
That's gonna be a
Shrimp.
new thing. That's
We're
gonna
gonna
be a
say
new
shrimp. We're
thing.
gonna make shrimp the
It's
thing.
like, oh,
Nah,
you
ain't no
shrimping
shrimp
for
over
her?
here.
Like you shrimping for
All these words, I have to write them down.
You shrimping?
You straight bottom feeding over here.
Use a shrimp.
Oh, filter feeder?
Oh
You
my
shrimping?
god.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Oh,
a big
okay.
shrimp
All right.
lobster over here.
Oh my
Oh my
Yo,
goodness.
I
Station
shrimp for
life.
you. I shrimp.
I stand for all of you
shrimp it.
guys.
Stand.
And
We're
you
gonna
know what
start
I
saying
stand
shrimping.
for? I
What do you
stand for
stand?
language that I can understand and a full night's rest and not feeling
Amen
hungover
to
after
that.
two drinks. I stand for
Amen.
that.
That is how we know that we are older, is because we want rest more
I
than
just-
anything.
Yes,
Oh,
naps.
yes.
Naps are the
Leave
golden
me alone.
elixir.
We
Yes.
just
That's
want
God's
a
gift.
break.
Yeah.
We just
True.
want a break.
Oh,
Only thing we want more than
That's it.
rest is food.
Yeah,
I do
rest
like
We have
food,
reverted back
too.
to being babies.
Somebody was
Yeah.
over and they had the TV on in my
Need some
place,
Korean
and I was like,
barbecue
"Can I
right
turn on the TV? I just want some peace and quiet." And I was like, "That's my mother." I just want some peace and quiet. I was like,
I just need
"Did you
some-
say that? The
I just need
fuck?"
some time to
Oh,
unwind.
I just
No,
Oh, no.
I love peace and
Oh.
quiet. Like I love just sitting in silence. Oh man, I
Mm.
sound like I'm 80, but I'm just like, yeah, like some
Fucking love that
silence would
shit.
be.
Oh, you-
I love
great.
rest.
Are you
I love
kids with your
rest.
loud music?
You know what I didn't love when I was like 24?
What's that?
What
Not
did you
peace and
do?
quiet. I fucking loved being loud and partying and drinking
Oh
all the time.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
Yeah.
I just
That's
fast forward.
Now we say that
Now we're
hits
here.
different.
We can't
Now
say
we're here.
shrimp.
It's
You can't
different.
say shrimp dead ass.
And
We're on talk
Dead
show.
ass.
You
We're
can't
on
say
talk show.
shrimp dead ass.
Yeah. We are the
Deadass can't
daytime
shrimp
talk
anymore.
show.
We dead ass.
We are the
can't say it.
daytime talk show now. We are the
We're the view. We're the view, y'all. This is the view.
view. It's basically okay. And on that note, you know what? We also love peace and rest for me, Chuck, Syntell, and we guys want you to turn up. Did they say that?
You
Yeah,
to
you
turn
can
up.
You can still say
Turn
turn up,
up,
I think.
y'all.
Get lit. No,
Get
that's dead.
litty.
Get
Get
lit.
fire
Is that what we're doing right
emoji.
now?
You guys,
I'm
you
not
guys
participating.
do
You're fruity grabbies.
Terrible.
And
Okay,
on
kings and
that-
queens, do your thing.
And on that
dead ass.
period, for the
Period.
show, that is the show. Period. It's rest time for us, and you guys have fun on your.
All right, I'm out. I'm embarrassed
And
myself.
everybody in the chat, stay there. Don't you go anywhere
Oh,
dead ass. We're
no.
serious about that.
Dead
Shut
ass.
down in a second. We'll be right
Oh
back
my
up.
God.
Yo,
Don't
Olympia,
go-
thank you for the raid.
I'm being no shrimp.
Stop.